just like Asari now, most of those, it's because the way they are disgracing lawyerhood, the way they are disgracing lawyer. Do you know what it means to be a lawyer? In what is it called? In Western world, for you to be a lawyer, that means you must have integrity, you must have what you stand for. But it's so unfortunately in our own countries that most of our lawyers are disgracing us. Anyway, we still have some faithful ones, some ones that are stand for integrity, someone that still believe that there should be a justice to somebody that is suffering from unjust. I yield from here. Thank you. Can anyone hear me?
No. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. We are back.
Can anyone hear me?
Now. Yes. We are back. You were
okay.
interrupted.
I yield from here. I yield from here.
Thank you very much. God bless you for your submission. You have spoken very, very well. I believe the next person to speak right now is One Love. One Love, have you spoken?
Thank you, my brother, for the opportunity.
Is that you speaking, One Love?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, go on.
Hello?
What?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay.
Speak on.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I've been listening to you guys. I don't know, when it comes to the Nigerian police, I think one thing is though about these guys, it's the fact that whatever they are doing, whatever they are saying right now in terms of what's going on with them, oh, they are hungry, they need money, this and that. That's why they are doing what they are doing. I don't really believe that. I don't think anybody should sympathize with these guys because what's actually going on is a reflection of the superior. I don't think most of these guys will do what they are doing without a backup of their oga or their top, like I would say. Most of them, they have to remit to their divisional police commissioners or whatever they are called, or to the IG or the AIG every single day or month. That's pretty much how the SARS guys was so brutal when it comes to extorting people along the road. So whatever is going on among these constables or the lower divisions of the police officers, it's a reflection of what is going on the top. So I think they have a certain amount of money they have to remit every day. I was talking to my brother in Lagos. He said most of the police officers there that are on the street, they have to remit every single day to their bosses. So I don't think this corruption thing in police force is going to stop easily without, cleaning up those who are at the top. The country is not good. The economy is terrible. Definitely, we understand that. And I think that is driving the reason behind most of all this corruption. But again, are we going to blame everything on the fact that we don't have a good economy? Not really. If you are corrupt, you are going to be corrupt anyway. But it's because we have bad leaders. That's what is driving this high rate of corruption. I think yesterday, I don't know, I was listening to Ruben Abati. He said something about there were two types of corruption. I think the ones in the corporate and the ones in the streets, or how you would call it, like the peripheral ones, like maybe somebody steal something or somebody try to forge a little bit of documents. And then he talks about the ones that are related to the guys in the office, like the politicians. Well, most of the time we only focus on the guys in the streets and the guys who are doing the petty type of corruption, and then leave out those who are up there, like people like Wike and Tinubu, who just got into the president-elect, when we know that how he got there basically was not clean. So that's the reason why really fighting for this cause. That's the reason why I fell in love with this channel and with you guys, because I know what we are all fighting for is to have a leader that will clean up a lot of this mess. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, if the head is messed up, everything that follows is going to be terrible. But I believe now that we have a case in court, if we are able to get our mandate back, these guys are going to be either retrained or they are going to understand how to police, because what they are doing right now is not policing. What they are doing right now is an abuse of power among the citizens. You can travel from Lagos to Lokoja and you probably might see, I don't know, hundreds of police bus stop, or how do you call it? But again, they are going to claim that's for security. I get it. But at each of those bus stops, these guys are going to be extorting money from you. You have to give them money. If you don't give them money, you're not going anywhere. If we have a country that works, if we have electricity, if we have good roads, I don't know why a police officer will be standing. I sometimes I drive here from my state for 10 hours. I don't even see any officer on the road, because that's not where they are supposed to be. Police officers are not supposed to be on highway extorting money. The only time you see them is when there's an emergency, or when they're just there trying to track someone who is going above the speed limit. But that's not what our police officers are doing. They're on the street trying to get money from people. I like the enthusiasm that came out from NSAS. If not, by now, lots of Nigerians would have been under 6 feet, because those guys were ready to continue collecting money from people for just nothing. So at the end of the day, I think the only thing we can do to clean up the mess that we have right now as a country is for us to have the right leader. Because without that, I just feel like everything that we do, everything that we try to solve, is not going to work. If Buhari cannot even produce his high school certificate, I don't know what he wants to tell a guy who is trying to become a minister, that he must have his own certificate, or he must go to the university, or he must have this sort of qualification. So you look at what we are talking about. Leadership is the problem of Nigeria. A lot of people will argue, we don't have the money, we don't have the money. But you see what governors are doing with money, buying private jet. And these are people who never can afford those things before they got into office. So political office become like a lottery in Nigeria. And that shouldn't be. The people who are in politics or in political office should be serving the citizens, and the people should be able to hold them accountable for what they are doing. So for me, it wasn't a surprising thing when I saw that article that Mr. Niger Wash read. It sort of just reconfirms our belief again that this is the reason why we need to work harder in order for us to rescue this country. Because at the end of the day, it all belongs to us. One of the guys said, said something a long time ago, that we are okay where we are. Like for me, I'm okay. Most of my families are okay. Pretty much everybody that I know. But the fact that I am fighting for my roots, I'm fighting for the people that I know that are being oppressed in Nigeria every day. The people that I know that this is not how life should be lived. This is not how people should live. When you have high rate of infant mortality, when you have high rate of accident on the roads, when you have high rate of so many irregularities, and the fact that it's being done by our own Black people, that's what broke my heart. It's not like the white people come to our country and they are oppressing us. These things are being perpetrated by the same people that lives among us. And I don't know what they are going to say out there when they go and when they leave the country. I don't know what their own excuses. I don't know what they are going to tell people, that the white people should respect them. Why should they respect us if we can't even put things in order and put things together as a people? So this is one of the problems that we face up here in diaspora, because our leaders they are nowhere to be found. Our leaders cannot step up and become a nationalist. They cannot step up and protect their own. They cannot step up and represent their own country and be proud of where they are from. Instead, the next thing you see them running abroad, they want to go seek medical care. What happens if you build a good hospital in your state? I don't even think that guy passed one single bill all the years he spent in Senate related to healthcare. I don't think he did that. And the other day, you see mass wave of people, doctors leaving Nigeria to the United States, to the UK, and so many other countries because they are fed up. The system is not working.
One love.
Not being paid. So for me, it wasn't a surprising thing that police officers are on the street, but I think at this point we have to stay on the right track to get our money back, because once we get the leadership first, everything will follow. Thank you, my brother.
One love, let me quickly share this information with you. I don't know whether you already have that information. Are you, because you said you don't know whether that guy passed a bill?
I don't think so.
Yeah, listen. When he was the deputy Senate president, I heard, we learned, is in the public space, that they approached him because they wanted to build a kidney transplant center in Enugu somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought a proposal for, I think, 400 million for him to present it to the House. He now went and told them that they should go and make it 800. They should double it before he can present it so that half of it will be his own. They went and did as instructed, and this man took the bill. They never heard from him again. But the information that later, after about a year, that the institution that applied for that grant for that project, right, they got a letter of inspection that the government was coming to inspect the renal center that has been approved. They now got back to them and said, we didn't get any money. They said, go back to the senator that presented it. It appeared that they approved that double amount, that inflated rate, but he siphoned all of them. So this is what we call karma is a real bitch.
Exactly. That is pretty much what they do. I mean, majority of them, that's what they do. They inflate contract and try to forge document and forge contract. They can even tell you, oh, I'm going to give this contract to a company, and no company exists. They use their children's name to form that company, and the money just keep going to their children's account. I have a personal experience with the guy who was doing it. That's the reason I'm saying it. He was in politics, and he had a company with the name of all of his children, and at the end of the day, when they try to look for a company that can carry out that contract, he just signed his name there, and his children get the money. And at the end of the day, the contract is not done. Everything is abandoned. So this is pretty much what they do in Nigerian politics. They inflate contract. Why these things happen? Because we don't have checks. We don't have anything that makes sure these things cannot happen. We don't have a way of tracking people down. We don't have a way of accountability. That's why, because by the time they sign that money to him, 2 days or 3 weeks from there, the contract is not done. No punishment. No one is going to be held responsible for it. So it just keeps going on. It's just like a cycle. Even the guy at the top that is supposed to hold them accountable, they are in the same party. They are doing the same thing. So everything is messed up. That's where we are.
My brother, I don't even want to interrupt you. You're talking about the guy at the top. What about the Attorney General? What about the EFCC, the power of a guy? What are they supposed to be doing? Check all these things. But what do? They take their own share and they look other way. Magu, where is Magu today? I even heard that he's promoted and he's still in the police force. This is somebody that stole a lot. But they won't do anything to him, because if they do it, he's gonna speak up and probably implicate most of them. Where did the Attorney General get money to buy a lot of cars that he gave people in his state? Where did he get that money from? But nobody's asking question. Nobody's asking question.
That's the thing, See, these things just happen, and I mean the way it happens in the federal level, that's how it happens in the state level down to the local government level. So it's just a cycle of corruption, problems upon problems that never ends. And I don't know. When I left Nigeria, I thought it was better. Now it's just like completely gone. Everything is messed up. You know, you can't even think about any part of the Nigerian society, sector that you can even give an A plus to, that this actually works. I remember then we had a landline. You can still call. I don't think that exists in Nigeria anymore. I remember then we had like we fetch water from a water board source, but now those things are gone. They are dead. So I don't know what has happened to that country, because every single year things just seems to be getting worse. Look at the dollar, look at the naira. Nothing is working. You can't
All
even
right.
try to do anything in Nigeria.
Hello, sir. Sorry. I have somebody on the phone. Please, let's hear from him. Thank you. Mr. Chris, thanks for calling in. Please talk to us.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Chris. I'm calling from Dublin. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to call a second time. Just following the discussion on the platform. Everybody is just contributing, and beautiful and wonderful contributions from Europe. But the case of Ekweremadu is just like a drop in the ocean. But I think the big question we should be asking ourselves is that when are we as a people, when are we going to deal with our problem? You see, for example, we are waiting for the DEA in the US to come and testify against Tinubu, whereas INEC and all of them, they have enough evidence to grant Tinubu right here in Nigeria. But we are waiting for the same white people to come and do that for us. Take another example, Buhari's in-law, the former accountant general of the Federation, 180 billion naira. 180 billion naira. Until today, we've not heard anything from that angle. Abba Kyari, the former wherever, the Super Cup, they called him. Now, I have a case to answer in the US, but we are shielding him here. We are shielding all our thieves. We are protecting all our criminals. And at the end of the day, we wake up and we start blaming other people for what we cannot do for ourselves. Ekweremadu is just one. There are still a lot of people there in the Senate, all of them there. Literally all of them, they are still stealing. So what are we going to do about our thieves? Must we continue to wait for this civilized nation to help us to deal with our criminals? We are praising them, just like somebody said. A former governor in Nigeria that was convicted in the UK, that governor came back to Nigeria. He was celebrated, given a chieftaincy title, and the INEC select president also praised that same person. So how are we going to deal with corruption? Somebody once said, I was listening to a program, and said that if there is no way the current president-elect has given a clear roadmap on how he's going to deal with corruption, of course he's never going to talk about that, because we swim in corruption, we bathe in corruption, and even the societal expectation is even the worst. If you go and serve, if you even become governor for 8 years and you refuse to stay, you refuse to do anything, it's the people from your own community that will first of all call you a failure. They will say, look at him, he went to serve government and he came back empty-handed. So you see, the point I'm just trying to make in all this is that we have to wake up to our responsibility. We can't be celebrating Ekwerimadu's conviction today, but I think it's a slap on the face of all of us as Nigerians and as black, and by extension black people, that we have a billion of these criminals within us, amongst us, and we celebrate them, whereas these people are being convicted every day in foreign countries. It's just a food for thought. Thank you all for giving me the time to call in the second time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Let me take one more call. Somebody has been calling since. Let me see if the person is still here. One moment, my people. I just want to give some time for everybody to vent. Maybe the next 1 or 2 hours will be done. So If anybody want to sleep, you can start sleeping. That's not a problem. It's just a last minute. Okay, this person is not available right now. That's fine. I will hand over back to you guys on the panel. I don't know who was speaking and who is next to speak. Yeah.
If Mr. Elvis, if I can respond to the last caller, saying,
Okay.
I believe Nigeria is getting to a point where, do we remember years ago what used to happen in Ukraine? Can anybody remember? I don't think so. Now, in Ukraine, they used to have corrupt legislatures. And what did the people do?
I remember it.
Good. They woke up one day, they went there
and
and was throwing them into the trash can.
Even the president ran away. Even the president ran away then.
Yes, they were literally throwing them into the trash can. And what happened after that? Now they changed. They changed. So I believe Nigeria needs that. I'm waiting if Obi gets in and they start giving Obi headache, please, that it will be the next thing the youth will do. Go there, throw them into the trash can. And they will learn by force because they are all a disgrace. Thank God, those ones that I know, I always tell them, the politicians that I know, I tell them they're a disgrace. And I'm not ashamed, I'm not afraid because they don't feed me. I don't care. I tell them they're a disgrace. Period.
In fact, in addition to that, let me quickly add this. It was that incident that led to the emergence of a TV reality show artist as the president that they now have, which has been working so much for that country, even in the midst of the battle ongoing between them and Russia.
Yep.
Is it my turn to speak?
Yeah, Mr. Juden, yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, my brothers and sisters, if Victoria is still there, so I greet everybody. Thanks for allowing me in the service, and God bless you. Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you.
For your efforts and everybody who has been coming here every day, lending their voices for the betterment of Nigeria. I want to say thank you, everybody, for all your good works. Well, and then also the listeners, thank you also for always listening and those in comment section. The Ekweremadu case is to me, is a situation of mixed feeling, sadness and happiness. Sadness in the sense that his case is like that of what is it called? That oil vessel that came to steal our oil, and left the shores of Nigeria, everything, and Nigerian Navy and all the military, all the security apparatus Nigeria has could not catch them, only for them to be thousands of miles or hundreds of miles away by another country, which means it's an ongoing situation, a country where the leaders pay lip service on fighting corruption and doing the right thing, and just look aside while their gangs continue to do whatever they do, whatever they know how to do best. I mean, how can Ekweremadu, somebody like that, all these plans were planned, everything was planned and hatched in Nigeria. He would have been stopped if Nigeria were to be a real country. Ekweremadu and his family and his wife and all the people that connived to hatch that plan to take away that individual, that young, poor, innocent guy, they would have been caught in Nigeria before ever they leave, before ever they left. Okay, but they didn't. But thank God for Britain, for doing us a favor. I think they did us a favor. And so we have every cause to celebrate it, because that is one thief out of many that is now, if we are contending with 500 thieves in Nigeria, political thieves in Nigeria. At least we have one now. That is a victory for us. For those who believe in justice, who believe in a new Nigeria, where leaders will be accountable, will be held accountable, as well as even the followers. You know, yes, they are happy. They were lucky that the pleads, the 51 page plea brought by different people, including the Senate President, the Senate Speaker, the Speaker of the House of Rep, the Attorney General, Archbishop, and the former President. You know that they now had to reduce the sentencing. Otherwise, it would have been 10 years, 10.5 years for Ekweremadu, the wife 6 years, and so on. But I mean, they chipped off some of it, and then plus the one they have served already. So they are lucky. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is that these people are criminals. I don't know if they play that video here of the sentencing of that judge, man, that judge is. I wish you can import that man in to supervise the ongoing case. This case in Nigeria, this case we have now, our president-elect case, not Tinubu. Tinubu is president-elect. The real president-elect is Peter Obi. I wish they can bring that man to come and supervise and preside over that case. Man, the way he was reading everything, the details of the offense this man committed, which to me, if it were to be in Nigeria, all those things would have been, in fact, in the first place, the whole thing would have been swept under the carpet. The same way a cocaine of 100 and about 100 billion naira discovered in Lagos a few months ago have been swept under the carpet. And those who swept it under the carpet have been penciled down to be among Tinubu's cabinet. I mean, just imagine that. It's so sad. And then Attorney General, the current Attorney General, was among the people pleading for mercy, for clemency for Ekweremadu, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House. Now my question is, where are all these people? For how many months Nnamdi has been judged by their own judge, by the Nigerian government appointed judges, freed this man and said, let this man go, that Nigeria has no power to, over him. He has not committed any evil. If anything, that no court in Nigeria should re-adjudicate the same offense that Nnamdi has committed, has no authority to, visit that offense anymore. But Nnamdi is still there. He kept the Attorney General, Malami still kept him there. And he is pleading for mercy for a criminal that was convicted in another country. What a country. What a two-faced in human beings in a country like Nigeria. He's pleading for mercy for a criminal. A criminal. Or criminals. Ekweremadu and his wife. He's pleading for their mercy. And yet he locked up somebody, an innocent man, for how many months? Even when he has been free, when he has been asked to go home. Senate President, has he ever pleaded for that? Has he ever lent a voice and said, no, we live in a country that we are supposed to be a law and abiding country, a law and order country. We should, no matter what, even if he did not believe that Nnamdi has not committed any offense, but the fact that the law of the land has freed him, has exonerated him, let him go and ask him, discharge and acquit him, let him go. Has the Senate President ever lent a voice? Has the Deputy Speaker, has the Speaker of House of Representatives ever lent a voice? No. And these same people are lending a voice. Of course, it's understandable. I mean, they say best of the same feather flocks together. They are lending a voice for them to relieve their fellow criminals, their gangsters, the people in the same gang with them. I think it's understandable. I can give them a pass for that. Because if you belong to a particular gang, like a gang of criminals, like we have in Nigerian, politicians and the so-called ruiners and not leaders, Of course, when one of yours is being is captured, when one of your criminal members is captured, you are going to plead for his mercy. And that is exactly what they did. Well, let me give them a pass for that. Coming to, I saw where they said Tinubu is vows to fight corruption. I just laughed. I laughed and laughed. You know, Tinubu vows to fight corruption. Indeed. A man who is vying to fight corruption since he has been declared INEC select president. He has even been immersing himself in more corruption every day. To the extent that he has, you know, he has been using his money funding the operations of this so-called Labour Party second, what is it, Apapa, the section of Apapa claiming that they are the real Labour Party leaders. The evidence is out today that, you know, those people have been funded. They are, of course, we all know it. The point, it's not even now, but well, the evidence is out there right now that those people have been funded by APC. Okay, they have been funding them just to destabilize and distract Labour Party from focusing on the just cause that they are pursuing. But thank God, God will continue to frustrate them because enough is enough. We can't continue to go this way.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jude. Mr.
So that's what I want to say. And then so finally, let me put this. In Uganda, I don't know if we had this, that the minister for, you know, one of the minister was, you know, killed, was spied by one of his guards, you know, for non-payment of salary.
Okay,
you guys had that, right? I'm just saying, what I want to say to all these people, all these guards or aides guiding all these Nigerian ruiners, Nigerian dictators and Nigerian rogues. I beg, borrow a leaf from this Ugandan guy, because these people have been using you people and trash you and pay you peanuts. But in your presence, they'll be buying mansions, they'll be buying, you know, private jets, they'll be sending their children abroad, but they can't even give you a living wage to take care of your children. To even send your children to good school, they can't do you this. They can't pay you. The little they're paying you, sometimes they even owe you. I hope you borrow a leaf from this Ugandan guy, you know, who, you know, answered the call to, you know, take care of his minister. I commend that guy. Comment on this because this particular thing he commented on, personally, each time I hear people say that, I don't even know how, I feel so sad. I feel so sad in the sense that it's like to me, those who committed the offense, like for instance, this rigging and everything that Bola Tinubu and his gang committed to hijack the people's mandate. I see that the people who are now saying let it go and trying to pressure Obi and the Labour Party, they will come with a deceptive tone as always for many years now, for the sake of peace and unity. Let it go, okay? Next 4 years you will continue. There's opportunity, you know, you can come by, you continue to organize, and then you can run again. These people are even more criminally minded, and more wicked, and more anti-peace in Nigeria than the so-called peace they are professing or they're hiding under it to perpetrate what is evil. Because this has always been the modus operandi of these politicians. Whenever they have committed all these atrocities, then they have their gang that they push forward, who are now going to become, you know, be doing as peacemakers. And let it go for the purpose of peace. And let it go. Instead, let him form a unitary government. And we are not letting it go. Obedient are the please. Nobody should deceive you. These people have deceived Nigeria for so many years by this same particular word, let it go, for the purpose of peace and unity. Where is unity? There cannot be unity and peace in a country that have devoid of justice and fairness, in a country where somebody who qualifies for a particular position is always robbed and given to somebody who is less qualified. There cannot be justice and peace in such a country. So if we fail this opportunity, I don't know how we can get it again. Let nobody deceive you. We are not letting anything go. Those who are saying let it go, they are the enemies of Nigeria. And when we see them, if possible, we should stone them. I know it might sound so harsh saying this, but for me, if I have the opportunity, those people who say who is going around now, pressuring Obi and those involved, going through all channels of people that Obi that are very close to Obi to pressure him to let it go, those people are evil. They are wicked. They are satanic. They are demonic. They are anti-Nigeria. They don't want Nigeria to move forward. They don't like. Okay, just for 1 minute, imagine if we have in Nigeria the system such as we have such as we just witnessed in England now, holding a top Nigerian senator, individual, a top Nigerian thief, accountable to suffer for the evil he has done. The same person, if you were to be in Nigeria, that incident happened, it would have been brought. No, in fact, you and I might have not even heard about it at all. Imagine if we have such an institution in Nigeria, a strong institution in Nigeria. Do you think you and I today will be passing sleepless nights, fighting to regain a mandate that Nigerian overwhelmingly, across ethnic background, across religious background, voted for one man and pick him and say, we want you to lead us. Do you think we'll be going through what we're going through today? No. It's because our agencies have been decayed. And these same people that made those agencies to decay, they are the same people that always come out to say, let it go. We are not letting anything go.
My brother, there's even something that I've been thinking. Do we remember, is it before the election or after the election that the police said they went and arrested some computer, whatever, is it Dominion or whatever it is? And they said, oh, they're gonna investigate those people. Nobody has ever heard anything about them till today.
As if you're not in Nigeria, you only hear when they say they will investigate. You will only hear in Nigeria when they say we will investigate, but we won't hear about the outcome.
Boy, Jesus.
My brother,
we will investigate, and the full weight of
my brother. You see why we are in this trouble now? You know why we are in this trouble? At the pinnacle, at the beginning of this struggle, when a well-meaning Nigerians came out with some lawyers that the constitution that we are functioning under will lead us to chaos. This is the result of that constitution. This is the result of that constitution. Because that constitution was not agreed upon. This is what the political class and the Northern Caliphate are holding on to as an advantage for them to proceed with their satanic plan. Because they know that if we agree, and we agree on the subject on how we are going to govern ourselves using true federalism, we would never have this problem.
But
they know.
But my brother, there's something there's a big question I'm even asking, which I have not even received an answer. Maybe any of you can help me with that. If there's with an answer to that question. My question is, after all this said and done, after all this settled, what is going to happen to Mahmoud? Because Mahmoud committed a criminal offense. Criminal, not even a civil. Mahmoud broke the law of Nigeria, the law of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mahmoud told Nigeria that I didn't promise you, and in collaboration with APC, that Mahmoud didn't promise Nigerians that they're going to transmit an election with electronically in an IREV. You don't need to promise Nigeria. Nigerian through the third arm of government, which is the legislature, they have made a law. They made a law on how election will be held in Nigeria, which made Nigerians to come out believing that, yes, with this new law, election will be transparent, people's vote will matter, only to come back at the end of the day, they swindle us. And you are not coming out to tell us you didn't promise us. You don't need to promise us. A law is given to you as an INEC chairman to follow that rule, the law.
My brother.
You are not to promise anybody. You have committed a criminal offense.
The people that wrote that law in that National Assembly, they wrote the law and they wrote a pathway for Mahmoud to follow. Okay, now, when they were writing that law, the INEC law, did they use the word shall?
If you go, did
they use that word shall? Use the transmission electronically before the announcement and pronouncement of the winner of the election. Go and read it very well now.
Okay, look at this. Listen, you see the national listen, the Congress or the national the lawmakers, right? That aspect, they gave it to that aspect is even a law. They told Mahmoud, or they told whoever is going to be elected the chairman, because it's not just for Mahmoud. The law is not just for Mahmoud to follow on this particular election, it's subsequent elections, right? So whoever is the chairman, they laid down a pathway and asked him, okay, and transmission of election shall be determined. I think the word shall is there. Okay.
Shall be determined by who?
By the chairman.
Now that is it. That they gave him all the power.
Okay, hold on. Let me say this. Let me say this. By the rules that the INEC chairman shall be set, and INEC chairman now went and set the rule. If you read the rule or governing this election, INEC chairman, I think it's subsection 5 or 8 or something, I've forgotten. He says, election voting shall be transmitted electronically in real life. That was the rule INEC chairman stipulated. That rule stipulated automatically it's a law. It's a law.
Yes, it's a law. I know.
Whatever it's a law. INEC chairman said before the election in paper, in black and white. Forget what he was promising.
Okay. I want to ask you a question.
Those things are law.
Can I ask you a question?
It has to be followed.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Where in the world where they will put the sovereignty and what the determination of how the country election will go in the hands of a particular man selected by the president in power? Yeah, just tell me one country.
I understand what you're saying, and those are part of the things that when Obi comes in, they will have to send out this thing back to the Senate for them to actually write it and let the Senate, Senate and the House, let them rule out every procedure in black and white.
They should not give power to any individual. That is it.
That any election supposed to take from beginning to the end. Okay, they shouldn't leave it to anybody, because you know why they left that gap for him? Because they know. Remember, before the election, they fought so hard to repeat that electoral reform.
They deceive us. They fought
so hard to repeal it, but it wasn't possible for them. Okay, so they put that, they deliberately did that.
Yes, they gave him the power to determine our destiny. They gave him power to determine our destiny. A chairman, just another chairman. Just one chairman. They will give you power to determine how a country will go in terms of election. That is ludicrous and it's satanic in its own space.
It is, but
and our lawyers were standing there looking, folding their hands, and they were looking. They couldn't take that case to court.
I know exactly. Do you know that this fight Obi is fighting in the real world where there is law and order? It's even the Senate, the House of Rep and the Senate supposed to take INEC to court.
Yes, to
for,
court.
For breaking the law that they handed to him to keep. Okay, it's not even Obi that's supposed to do this. It's even the Senate that's supposed to call this man and say, listen, we gave you a law on how elections should be held in Nigeria. Why did you disobey this law?
Where are the lawyers? Where are the lawyers?
And again, the lawyers again.
You can take INEC to court if you are an ordinary citizen for breaking the rules of religion to determine the sovereignty, how the government will come to place. They broke it and shatter it. Why is the lawyers? Why are they sitting down? Because all of them are dwelling and dining and swimming in corruption.
Exactly. They're all lying in the same bed with each other. They know they're all the same gangsters. That is why. But don't worry, their end has come. Trust me, this is going to be their end.
That is why I keep on saying, we don't know the mindset of the military.
This is
we
going
don't
to
know.
Be the end.
We are just sitting down talking. We don't know the mindset of that military. When they will strike, they will never. What happened in Sudan? They will never hand over to this civilian again. You will see now. They don't start for Sudan.
Well, one thing you should understand is that military is no longer fashionable.
Now lie, yo. Now lie.
Fashionable in the world.
Now lie. The European, the Western world can never determine it. It is we that will determine it. They can never. They can never determine it.
The truth of the matter is that Obi will take him. Okay,
okay, all the African countries that military has taken over. What have they done to them? What have they done? Is it not only AU that said, "Oh, sanction"? What has their sanction done to the African country? We should call a spade a spade. They cannot do you anything. They can only talk because they are enjoying the benefit and the resources they got from these African countries. Sudan now is there. Did they tell them to, Sudan, we don't want military government, we want civilian? Who born monkey well?
That is true. That is true. You see, that is why this whole thing is a very precarious situation.
They're going to make noise every day. Hey, we don't want military
everybody.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. You see, that is why the whole thing calls for everybody, every Nigerian to arise now and fight this thing and see that, number one, see that this man is never sworn in. Because if he takes over with how corrupt-minded he is, he's going to gradually disintegrate this issue that at the end of the day, Obi will have nothing. Trust me, he may not have anything to do again, and if he does anything, they will get him arrested. Because this Tinubu is the man, his heart is so dark, and the group of people that are following him, that are supporting him, like Festus Kiyamu, Fenika Yode, all these people, they have sold their heart to Satan. They are no longer human beings. They are power intoxicated, and they want to grab power, like Tinubu said. Power cannot be given in
do you know what I've been thinking about?
You have to grab it, you have to pursue it, you have to.
Do you know what I've been thinking about? Let us go and read Nigerian Constitution very well. Nigerian lawyers, they are very, very tactical in this judicial process. If they gather themselves together, the Bar Association, they can summon and put forward a petition to the Supreme Court to stop the inauguration of May 29. To stop it and give power to the next available person, which is the judiciary, because the Senate has not been sworn in.
And hasten up the whole thing.
And hasten it up. That is the only way. Because if they don't do that, they will still swear in Agbado.
I mean,
except if the military got to intervene, because the people they have been tied down by chain of ignorance and mumuism.
Really, it doesn't make any sense to have him sworn in and the case is still going on.
That is it.
He's been sworn in. You have given him undue advantage over the case. In fact,
but immunity does not cover that case.
Over the case. Okay?
He has advantage, but immunity does not cover him.
Because everything now is under his caprices and whims.
That's why I'm saying that if we decide to shred, if the judiciary decide to break and shred the Constitution, well, who is the next people that will say, apart from the civilian, who are the next people that say we cannot stand where the Constitution is being shredded? It is the military.
Now, Black Panther, I don't know if you heard, is it one lawyer? One senior advocate or judge that they asked in Narai's interview about 2 or 3 weeks ago. What does he think about them televising the case so that Nigerians will see it? You know the response he gave. Whether
no.
you heard that, right?
I heard it.
Okay, now tell me, the case we are all talking about now that happened in UK. Was it not televised? Was it not videoed? And that is why we are watching it. Did they play it? Were they playing? Has Nigerian judicial system ever been as serious as that of those in UK that they videoed?
It has been corrupted. It was this judicial system you are seeing. This judicial system.
God,
let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. People were talking about the police. Let me say one thing, brother. People were talking about the police. Do you know one thing, that the system, the penal code, everything about the police is still the colonial laws, rules, and regulation we are still following the police? People are not. It is the same thing we are still doing. They have not changed the rules and regulation and the law. They have not changed it
at all. Black Panther. You watched that UK. You watched that judge sentencing, right?
Yeah, it was a smooth one, open one.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me tell you this. Now, listen to this. Even if you have not been following that case, right? Or maybe you have only followed that case haphazardly, and maybe you have been doubting whether Ekweremadu actually committed an offense, or maybe they are persecuting him. Now, after listening to that judge, will you not actually say for sure this man committed a criminal offense with everything?
Yes.
Smoothly, systematically.
It was a fair judgment, a very
fair judgment. In fact, I was even the sentencing, the man was even very lenient.
He was very lenient, very
compared
lenient.
To the magnitude of the offense, of the criminal offense, or the criminality of those individuals.
A lawyer, Ekweremadu is a lawyer. Ekweremadu is a lawyer. Is he not a lawyer, Ekweremadu?
So lenient.
Is Ekweremadu not a lawyer?
He systematically presented the case, everything, oh my God, that man, these people. Hi.
Brother, is Ekweremadu not a lawyer?
Nigerian so-called judges, they don't even know it is to their advantage and reputation that this thing be televised. Except they have an ulterior motive, which everybody believes they do.
Is Ekweremadu a lawyer?
I think they say he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer. Yes, he's a lawyer.
Yeah, I think they say he's a lawyer.
You see now, a lawyer, he knows that he has committed this crime.
I can't discover. Sorry, bro. My brother, there's one thing I discovered about all these evil people there. Most of them go and read law. Just like they just bastardize that law, that maybe law practitioner, something like that. Even the Lai Muhammad too. I read his profile too.
He's a lawyer too.
Also study law. So when you check all these people, just
all
like
criminals.
So they don't use that lawyer something. And when you not check it, you will not ask yourself, say, what's the essence of being a lawyer whereby you're a liar? And that's how I see all those people with this agbado, where they do damage for all of them now. Most of them are, you not look yourself, say, for me to be a lawyer, it's better I be a mechanic, because they bastardize that profession. I'm telling you.
They've killed it already. The bar is dead.
They messed it up. The bar is big dead. Time, man. They messed it up big time. They messed up that profession.
Bastardize, check all of them. You see, this one go law.
Look
This
at
one
a
go
lawyer.
law.
A
Bastardize
lawyer
it.
who is a governor of Rivers State, perpetrating himself solo, committing a crime against the
Wike too
sovereignty
is
of
a
your
lawyer,
state.
exactly. Wike too is a lawyer.
Committing a crime. You were caught in committing that crime, point blank, white and black, they caught you. Your speech, everything. And you're still coming out to dance. They talk anyhow like person where you drink ogogoro every day.
And then again, because we don't have institutions in Nigeria, everything have been bastardized.
It is dead, it's corrupt.
All this crop of people, they would have revoked their licenses long ago.
Every one of them. Okay. Every one of them.
They would have revoked their licenses.
Okay, look at what happened in America.
Somebody like Festus Keyamo, his license should have been revoked.
Look at what happened. Let me tell you an incident. What happened? A lawyer in America was carrying out a crime. He knows that it's a crime, and it's a crime against the Constitution. He was telling lies against the Constitution of a sovereign state. You know what they did to him? They debar him. They debar more than 3 of them. They debar them, carry them, go court. They are in court now. They will be jailed. Now an assured banker. You are telling lies against the Constitution, not against somebody else. So, as a lawyer, you are telling lie, aiding and abetting against the Constitution and the rules that brought about an election. You are just talking lie against that Constitution. They debar him. Straight. Who you be, son? Rubbish. They debar him. That is what they should do to all these miscreants that call themselves lawyer in Nigeria. SN. They should debar them, and they should stop all these senior advocates of Nigeria, which they used to perpetrate corruption. They do anything they like. You have a home in America. You are dancing. I'm coming out from my place, and you were against when you were in Ghani chamber. You were against all the things that you are perpetrating now, and you come out to talk.
I'm sure Ghani will be rolling. My brother, I'm sure Ghani will be rolling in his grave, seeing what Festus Keyamo.
He was the snitch in Ghani chamber that was telling the government what is Ghani is doing. That was the snitch. They know when Ghani is in office, they will come in and pick him up. They know.
Oh, really?
Yes,
so he was working against Ghani?
He was in the snitch. He was the snitch. I call him every day on his when he write up in Twitter. I say you are the snitch in Ghani's chamber. He let him reply. I say reply it. If you are not the snitch, reply it. He was the snitch. That was why he was hurriedly giving an SAN pushed forward by Agbado now. Agbado pushing forward to give you an SAN. Wow. Because he knew that he was going to perpetrate this kind of evil to claim somebody's mandate. He knew, he planned it. Go and look at all of them.
You see, my brother,
FFK,
there is one
FFK,
thing.
they tie rope for that one neck. FFK, they tie rope for his neck. If you don't talk like this, they go strangulate him. That is why he's doing it too. And he's a lawyer.
There is one thing I want to, Mr. Black Panther. There is one thing I want to appeal to our people. I know they might, I mean, I don't know how they can hear. There's one thing I want to appeal to Nigerians, for especially those that really want a better country. You see, it is high time we start praising any governor, any senator, or any of these idiots whenever they float, whenever they do all these makeshift bridges or sham roads that does not even stand the test of two rainfall, and everything will collapse just because they pour gravel and cover it up. You begin to praise them. Oh, he's doing something, just like they have been praising Wike. You see, even last year, I was one of the few, possibly only me, on this platform. Whenever they were praising Wike because of what he was doing after he lost out and he started lambasting PD, his party. He started lambasting them, he started fighting them, telling them he's going to ruin them. And people here some people continue to support, say, oh, he become their toast. Many people, not just only here, many people begin to like him and say, oh, see how he's fighting them. I keep telling them, This man is only fighting because he has lost out. He's not fighting for any justice, as he's trying to present to people that he's fighting for justice. He was only fighting because he lost out, because they outsmarted him. They outsmarted in their game. That was all. Now, I think as time went on, his true color unraveled. We all saw a man, the same man that condemned APC and said, God forbid that people should support APC. How can somebody think of supporting APC who have done all this evil to Nigerians? That was Wiki's voice some months ago. And the same man is the one now that is singing the praise and the toast of the same APC. Can't you see? Can Nigerians see that these are our so-called politicians, that they don't have any dignity at all? Not even the smallest of it, not even the slightest of it. They don't have any atom of dignity. That is why nobody should be praising them. They are all crews. Except when we now have this new Nigeria, when Obi comes in and we have good leaders, of course, who will be held accountable, will be putting fire on their butt and make sure they do the right thing. And they can't have $1 billion or 1 billion naira, for instance, earmarked for a project. And in that project, they only spend 1 million naira. And because they spend only 100 out of 1 billion naira. And because that project they spend it on, we are benefiting, or we saw it, we now begin to sing their praises, forgotten about the 900 million that they have received in that project. Because that's what happened. Before you praise somebody for working, a governor or anybody, how much has that person received for that particular work that he's doing? If in a state a governor is receiving 100 billion, for instance, and out of that 100 billion, he has only managed to spend 20 billion to do some makeshift work here and there in the state, and people will be praising him. No. He's just changing you. He's just changing the states and everybody. He shouldn't be praised. If anything, that person should be stoned, should be called to ask, where is the money? Where is our money? Where did you keep the 800 billion? You have only spent 220 billion. Where is the 800 billion that was left? That is left. That is what Nigeria should be doing. Not just praising anybody that just come and do one center table, an intersection and say it's a flyover, or just pour concrete on the road. Like every road in Nigeria, every year they continue to tie the same road. Whereas abroad, some roads have a longevity of 50 years, even over 50 years.
You know
and
why?
Most of those roads that are built that has longevity of 50 years, they are even less expensive than the one they built in Nigeria.
You know why Nigeria? You know why Nigeria case is peculiar? You know what they did? The political class are very cunning because they have a twisted mind. They are in a sort of court. And if you are not very wise, you cannot demarcate PDP from APC. Because we are wise.
They are based on the same feather.
Yes, because we are wise. That's why I can detect it. You see what they did there? They have 3 platforms to control the people.
Exactly.
And one of them is, 1 is poverty. 2 is corruption.
Education.
Yeah, you can put education. Then we have tribalism. That's 2, tribalism. 3, what they call this one? Religion. That is the 3.
4.
Yes.
You added 4. Education is part of it. 4. Because ignorant, keeping people ignorant.
Yes.
People, you can control that person. That is one of the greatest weapons.
That is why you see the learned people, the most educated people, professor. That is why they can sit under the guardian of a non-school cert holder to become a president. Because he himself, who is a professor, they have impoverished him. They have made him poor. They have made him poor. They have made him stand under the optics of religion and tribalism. Look at all the professors we have now. They are either standing on religion or tribalism to speak.
That is true.
That is the case we have found ourselves. It is this new generation that has brought out the struggle very elaborately in a such dimension that a lot of Nigerians are not buying into it and lifting it up like what we are doing now.
That is true.
But it has been happening before. We have been singing this before when we are in the university days, that this constitution we have cannot hold ground. I told my father, there is no future for this country. He say, we go wait, we go get job. I said, I'm not going to get job. I'm going to create job for myself because Nigeria must go down. He said, am I saying that? I said, they cost my God. I said, no, I'm looking at the farm. I said it to my dad. Wait. I said, look at the world. Any country that does not have a constitution that people have agreed on, it does not last. It can last for some time, but it will fall.
Constitution is a foundation. It's like the same way you want to build your house, you make sure you build a very solid foundation. Otherwise, that house can't stand. That is what constitution is to any society.
But Nigerians, oh yeah, you see them discussing on television that, oh, where we are going to, people are saying we don't have a constitution. We have sometimes people are saying on platform, if you see educated people on some platform, we have a constitution. Then I will ask them question. Where did you sit down? What year did Nigeria sit down and draft a constitution? They couldn't say. They say, well, we have one now, which was drafted from 1966. Who told you that? Were you there?
It's only idiots.
Did they swear in Obasanjo with a constitution? Obasanjo had not seen the constitution before he was sworn in as a president. He said it himself.
Even the minister, even the then minister, Minister Nwodo, at the time this constitution was handed to Obasanjo, in fact, they even gave it to him to go and print. He himself didn't even see it. He didn't
know what was inside.
He wasn't even there when it was drafted, when they were
yes.
Okay, and Obasanjo came, they handed it over to him, who haven't even read it.
They called what they did was that
in fact the whole thing is a shambles.
Southwest, called some people from Southeast and drafted rubbish for us.
Abdul Salami just conveyed a few gangsters together.
Now lawyers, so not the gangsters, now lawyers. So, now lawyers carry together, lawyers from different.
And then when you're talking about this, you see some so-called educated idiots in Nigeria coming to interject or coming to tell you you shouldn't speak so evil or so ill about the Nigerian constitution. That is not the Nigerian constitution. We have a constitution. You see,
don't mind them.
And people like Kulata, people like One Man Go to
Don't mind all those people.
All these hooligans.
Those people now, Oluwole they enter London. Now we know now. Oluwole now they enter London. I can bet Oluwole, many of them enter.
You see them coming to argue.
How can you argue a fact that the president of a country came out in the media to say he did not even see the constitution before he was sworn in, and you are opening your mouth to say you have a constitution written by who? Okay, Jonathan convened a constitutional conference which held the regions, Islamic clerics, all of them agreed upon. They agreed, they fought, then I agreed with billions of
naira. And they refused to implement it.
And they refused to implement it. Up to now, they throw them under carpet. Why is the National Assembly not invoking that blueprint? Why did they invoke that blueprint? Why?
Anyway, don't worry. When P2B gets in, these are some of the things that will be visited.
They got to invoke,
bring all of these things to fall.
They got to invoke that blueprint, what they agree upon, and let them come and swear under oath. And they did not agree on that issue. Now the Sultan of Sokoto, the Emir, the Oba of Ife, all of them, they all were there and they agreed on it. I have the videos. They all agreed on it.
My brother,
so let them not just come and tell us, bamboozles our brain. Somebody will tell me about the foundation of Nigeria. You think I don't know the rules and the regulation? I know where I came from. I know where I came from.
That is true.
I came from a very strong historical background, and therefore that was why I left the history of Nigeria and the history of so many empires in Africa. And that's what they are depriving our generation not to know. If they had known it, they will have been able to stand their ground and have pride from where they come from.
It's so sad. In fact, even now, do you know what? I kind of begin to see how I wish I can be able to go and retrieve my history book. You know that history book we used to use in those days? One book that I think is green in color. The cover is green, kind of.
They were teaching us history then in school.
Kenen Bornu Empire, Mansa Musa.
Ghana Empire, Benin Empire, the Songhai Empire. All of them, we read all of them in school.
The Babylonian Empire.
The Greek Empire.
The
we
Greek
read all
Empire.
of them in school. They just take it away from us like that. Everybody comes on for Nigeria.
Osei Tutu, the conjuncting of the golden stool.
We know how Ife came about. Not what they are saying that they say Oromio, Oba Ife, the person Oduduwa fall from sky. All those ones are lie now. We know where it comes from. They fall from sky. Which sky?
We learn about Are on Kakanfo.
Yes.
My brother, I forget.
They just turned everything upside down. There's someone Yoruba person go contact say Oduduwa came from the sky. He say fall from sky. They come up fire from mouth. When that kind of history dey? I don't read them. I know where they come from. They migrated all the way from Egypt. We have all the history.
Egyptian Empire, all those.
All of them just the Nigeria we are now is under the status quo of corruption. That is why I'm not even rejoicing or following people when the police were coming out to say, hey, they never pay us. Now today they don't come like that. We always forget that the Nigerian police have come out before during Obasanjo regime. They came out to say they have not received salary for 6 months. That was why they reviewed their salary then. They not already paid them 60,000. What are we talking about? These ones have come out to say now that they did not pay them. To hell with them. I come from that place, but to hell with all of them. They are part and parcel of the problem of Nigeria. If they cannot rise up and support the people, they are killing Nigerians. They are telling us they not pay them. Who they don't pay for Nigeria? Who they don't pay? When governors are not paying salaries,
don't mind them.
They are paying half salaries. But because they never pay you, then you know you come out your uniform. Can't you serve yourself for your country? You know people that have died for Nigeria.
Can they do like that guy did in Uganda? Can they do that?
Don't mind all of them. They are coming out.
Can they do that?
Now today, Nigerian police don't they kill us. If I tell you the atrocity, now Nigerian police, I am part of them because my people were part of them. My home parents were part of them. I know them to their bone marrow. I have been a victim. Let me tell you a story. I went to officially go for a message from my dad. He told me to go somewhere to inspect a project he was about to start. I was the supervisor for that project. I came prepared to give him report around 5 o'clock. When I walked into the station, a police officer, if I were not very smart, I know how to talk to police officer so that the reaction, because at that thought of, so that I will not react to bring out his gun. I came out because I was wearing jeans and jeans with a jeans cap. I just came back from school. So I now walked in. The police officer now threw up an arcade with AK-47. They said, now the boy be this. I look back, but now someone doing my back. They said, the boy be this. Where we go raid for Ikeja, he run. Now him be this. I laugh. I say, Oga, may calm down. Not be like that. I say, may calm down. I'll be part of you people. I just relax them. Before I even go further, The man give me one slap, eh? My eye
Wow.
nearly fall for mouth. I can't look down. I can fall down. I can't look up. I see my dad for window. My dad winkle me. Me he winkle my eye. He winkle me. That means anytime my dad winkle me like that, it's like I give him a slap, make I push him down. You know, go fish shoot because they don't see him for window. That's why I push him with the AK-47.
Oh, wait. Your dad was a police then?
Yes, my dad was the deputy in charge of the station.
They don't know you?
They don't know me now because me they like to identify myself because it's risky as a cop, a child of the cop. It's risky to identify yourself because if they go do rubbish for outside, they see you now, they go on do one thing. So I just dress like normal person. It just advancing and me now and the people where they go raid. They don't have more bundle me.
But were you really among those? Were you there?
I go message from my dad though. Message, I just come back from school from Port Harcourt. I don't land. My dad called me. He said, since I'm the supervisor, make I go supervise them. Make I go there, go supervise them. I go there, I never even chop self. And they're hungry. And they are for chop. All these people they sell for where we do the work. And they are for chop. I mingle with, I'm close to the grassroots. So when I come, I speak Yoruba well fluently. I write Yoruba in Yoruba step, and because all my life was in Yoruba land.
Okay.
The guy just come, wants me slap.
Wow.
My father, I just see my father for window. He and the DPO because he was the deputy DPO for that station and our area command where all the weapon, everything, all the old group day. As they wipe in and all the mopo come outside. As the mopo come outside now, one of them are my schoolmates from secondary school. He said, what did they do you? As I push him down, the guy says, wake up straight. My father just say, stop. And that will blow whistle. All of them don't stop. He said, you. All right, pull, inspector, come out their belt of the room straight. If now another person, that person don't go.
Wow.
He don't go. Now, so they take people. They will just say, nah, him, that's all. You know that in the cell, they can replace you for hardened criminal.
Exactly.
They do it every time. Not be exactly.
A gun beside you and say, yes, this is the person.
They will do it. They'll collect 1 million naira for the guy and then they will now replace him for an innocent person that was just brought to that station. Or maybe in a pickpocket. They'll put and say, I go rob Central Bank. Just to have a case. And that person will go rob Central Bank, they go release them because they don't pay 1 million. Many things don't happen now. I don't see in and out. I don't see in and out of Nigerian police. Their cell. I don't sleep inside. You know what they call German cell? I have slept in there. I was innocent. With a commissioner of police son who was my friend. We are innocent. They don't know because we know they identify ourselves. When they know, all of them any piece for body. Then any piece for body. If you see begging, because we know they're proud of anything. Now our father not the police. Simple. The Nigerian police, the new ones where they enter now, they base their mindset is I go in, I go collect bribe, I build house. I know many of them now. All those boys where we say my own mother put for police. Many of them, they are big boys now. They be sergeant too. They don't build that for Lekki. I know 2 of them. Then they be detectives. They don't build house.
Now how
they buy houses for Lekki. House? That is what we are saying. That is why I'm not crying for any of them. They deserve what they have gotten because they rip Nigeria. They rip Nigeria of a good governance.
But let me ask.
Of them.
1 minute. Let me ask. I didn't follow because I just joined not too long ago. I wasn't following the issue of the police. Was there an issue that they were crying out or something?
They said they never paid their salary.
Oh, man, they've been saying that for a long time ago.
That was why I was saying it. People don't know history. The Nigerian police was the beauty of Nigeria. When I stayed in that police college, that was a Garden of Eden. That college was Garden of Eden. I stayed there, I trained there, I play basketball there. That was a recreation center you can ever think about. But when when Obasanjo came in, they finished everything. That place was becoming, it now became a desert. It now became a slum.
A shadow of its own self.
The slum was it's even better than that place now.
Even look, if you have ever passed Nigerian the barrack, the one they call barrack by Nigerian police in near by Ojoleba after Surulere Stadium, right?
Oh, that one was a beauty before, but now go see what he did there.
Exactly. But if you go there now,
before.
Oh my God, you weep for this country. Now. Because I used to go there. I have a friend,
I go there every time I go to stadium now.
We used to go there. I used to go to his house in that barrack. And
a clean place.
I'll just be beating them. I say, hey, look at where human beings are living.
They destroy them because
this was money almost 25 years ago.
The allocation for maintenance of the Nigerian police barracks all over the country, one person, the IG, they sit upon her. Now they take catch this Yoruba man, the late IG, that they arrested. That one, that Yoruba man where Obasanjo say they go for sale. Yoruba, that big man be like Indian me. I forgot his name. Tafa.
Okay.
Tafa, go and look at that case. It's on Channel Television. Go and Google it. Tafa took all the money that was accrued for them to take care of the Nigerian police welfare, one, to take care of the Nigerian police barracks nationwide, and the vehicle, well over 100, I bet to be corrected, well over 100 was found in an estate that he owns.
Anyway,
that was why it was jailed.
All those corruptions, corrupt practices, they are not new. Was it not how what is it called? Atiku became, according to him, became millionaire by taking people's car and using it and converting it to his own property. Personal property. And he told us he bought five Pujo and used it as transportation. That was how what made him billionaire.
You remember the Calabar IG? There was one popular Calabar man. I've forgotten his name. He was an IG of the Nigerian police. That one, it was bent in making sure that the Nigerian police gets all their subvention, gets all their allowances. Do you know that when my dad was in the force, when they go for night duty, they used to, you see the way they feed them for America here. They used to package their food like this. They'll package them for box. They'll give them night meal. They'll package them like they go Mr. Big, so then they'll give them morning meal. They'll come give them biscuit where they go drink with a Coke in that their 12 bottle pack. They'll give each of them. They go drink. My dad go bring cabin biscuit. He won't want chop remain. More than $2 come out. We go chop up. That was the Nigerian police then.
Wow.
When they are giving you your allowances, when you are being fed. You are being fed. My dad had two orderlies. My own dad had, because my dad was the director of sport in Nigerian Police College. And he was a lecturer for 7 years. Lecturing criminal laws and police jurisdiction. He was lecturing it. He's a very intelligent police officer.
Wow.
Very, very intelligent. His uncle was the IG, former IG of Nigerian Police Force. But that he didn't let that to get into his head. He merited everything that he got. He was lecturing the DPO. They'll say that my dad is the only man that can lecture them, that they will understand. He was lecturing those university graduates that comes for criminal law. He was the one doing it in Nigerian Police College. His record is still there.
Wow.
So they call him his name. Now that name was Okute. He played for Nigerian Police Force. He was the captain of the national team. He played for Nigeria. He was drafted to Nigerian Super Eagles.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes, he's there now. You know Okala.
I know.
Okala was his teammate then. Yeah, no, Okala they come our house now.
So he was
Okala
during
they
the
come our
time
house.
of Christian Chukudem.
Yes, the late Eboegbe, that man that took that coach. Yes, that coach that took the under 21 to Saudi Arabia and where they win gold.
Okay.
That team that won that made Nigerian proud. That the coach is my dad's best friend. The both of them played for the Nigerian Police Force and they were both drafted for Super Eagles. The record is there.
Wow.
So, but people, we don't flout this because he has trained us to make sure that we deserve and merit what we are given, not go to the backyard door.
Yes.
All of us did jam. We passed jam. We no lobby.
Yes.
We not. I know, but none of us lobby for. Say we they go lobby for university admission. No way. I merited it. Now what do we have now? What do we have now? All of them they lobby.
Didn't you see what in the last speech of our guy P2B when he was addressing? He said when he was a governor, he never helped anybody to get into any university. You have to go there. You have to go do your jam and pass and get in. That he never. And we all know the system in Nigeria. You have to know who know. Let me tell you a small story about
that myself. Is it now?
Let me tell you something. When I was to enter University of Nigeria and Nsukka, I first of all I went to Federal University of Federal College of Education. So I was supposed to get in through direct entry, and I was well qualified. In fact, according to what they told me when I went to the department, because I was forced to travel to University of Nigeria from Lagos to University of Nigeria and Nsukka for the admission. So the lady who is the office secretary that worked directly with the HOD of the department I want to get in told me in privacy, say that she really don't know why they didn't give me admission. That I am well qualified, that my listing is more than every other person they get direct entry admission. That what happened? Don't I know anybody? I said, no, I haven't come here. I just applied and I have never gone. I told her I've never seek for anybody to do anything. I just, go do what I'm supposed to do. Okay. He said, this Nigeria, if you don't do, this was when? Many years back. So 2 times I applied. I didn't get admission. And now, out of frustration, and I applied at Uniben. I took Uniben as first choice and then ABU as second choice because of my course. So it was that second term and the third time or the third year. The admission, in fact, they have already given admission and everything to students. And they were to do their convocation a week after, before my brother came back from work that night and brought a newspaper, Guidance newspaper, and told me, hey, my brother, still my name is in the book, among those they publish in Guidance newspaper that have been given admission at UNN. And they also announced that we should hurry up, otherwise convocation is a week from the particular day this thing was published. So anyway, to cut the long story short, the following day, I enter Face in Achiabi, which luxurious bus, and then went straight to Nsukka. I got there. God gave me favor. I was able to register within 1 week. And many people I even met who were there 4 weeks. I've not even finished registration. But one day I was able to register, went through everywhere and registered. And then I asked them, what happened again? Me that they said I was not qualified. They were giving admission to people for almost 2 years. 2 times I applied, which is 2 years, 2 years, right? So what happened? Then somebody now told me that the VC, right? Because they said there's a list they give to VC, VC list, right? So in that VC list, they selected everybody that VC was to give admission. But because the VC was new, he said no, he's not going to go by any list, that he's going to go by those that qualify. that was how I became #1. I was the first person. But that was after everything, after they have done all the mago already given admission. Then they now say, no. They have to overrule. They now overruled. They now overruled. You know, it's sad that you are in a country, you are qualified, but you have to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody before you get something that you're qualified. It's sad. That's why people like us that believe in men, you see, you know, we are so passionate in the kind of society we want. I've never in my life bribed anything. I was doing business in Lagos. Man, I lost so.
It's so sad.
When Naira was Naira, I've lost some millions of Naira business contracts in Nigeria just because I to join the person, the purchasing manager, to steal from his company. Because after the quotation I bring, they will ask me, you add this. Okay, when you
don't agree, they go on collect bribe. That's what they do now.
Exactly. Then you give us our own. I say no, I don't do such things. I do no such things. They will be saying, are you not in Nigeria? You mean you're going to leave all this money? You do know how many people that came for this contract? But because your design, because I was into art and into design and printing, but because your design, you know, the committee could not they could not just not give you the job because we all choose your design.
My brother, not to cut you short.
I tell you what I went through.
Nigeria,
those are some of the things that made me say, you know what?
Nigeria is a very beautiful country. It is just because of bad leadership. Nigeria, repeat again, Nigeria is a very beautiful country. It's only many Nigerians have not been opportune, I would say have been opportune to travel the length and breadth all the way to Maiduguri to see the landscape, to see the beauty of the Sahara, to see the beauty in the Niger Delta. It is just a bad leadership that we have.
That is the thing. It's bad leadership.
That is just it.
Okay. That ordinary Nigerians are corrupt today is because of bad leadership. And
Nigeria is a very massive country.
Everybody
very
will fall
massive.
in place.
Very massive. If you see when you are traveling from Port Harcourt to the north, if you see the massive land that is there, that we have not cultivated, it can form more than 57 states.
That is what P2B has been talking about now, because
Nigeria big, big, I beg.
Nigeria big. I remember the day I traveled, the time I traveled from Lagos to Jos on road, you know, 25 years ago. I was like, Jesus Christ, do we have so much?
Let me give you an hint. Let me give you one hint. Let me give you one hint. You see the deputy governor of Edo State. Do you know him? Shaibu.
Deputy governor of Edo?
Yes.
I don't know him.
Chili Shaibu. Now, he know me. Now we go carry him from University of Jos to crown him as the Nigerian Association of Nigerian Students president. You know me now. Chili Shaibu know me now. Make it Hassan, Connection, and Soweto. You know me now. You know me well now. Make it Kasa, call her, make it think anybody call her. Say Soweto. You know me now.
No, that one I got him before.
Yes, Shaibu. Who him be? That's where they shake. We cannot go Maiduguri, the heart of Maiduguri, where all those Islamic people, they attack us. We stand our ground like rock. They take off.
Wow.
That place, that red eye now. Everybody now red eye there now. Red eye. Chili Shaibu, where don't become governor. You know, send anybody. You know, he was so corrupt. We never knew he was corrupt. We thought he had the mindset. We have a mindset of doing something in a socialist way to give to people that are suffering. But he went to NAS and did all the rubbish he did. He did all the rubbish, siphon money, everything. He could do like saying no. He could do like saying they're innocent. If you see him, he could be like innocent person. If you see her, the day you go first see her, you go like her.
Wow.
But the two you for backyard, you go run. At a pity. Well, he cannot be the governor of Edo State again.
Abi? Okay, my brother, make I leave you. I need to.
God bless you, my brother.
So take care. Thank you. So nice talking to you.
God bless you.
Okay, we go get our new Nigeria, no matter what.
We must get them.
All these people they fight for nothing. This is their last battle.
We go make Nigeria ungovernable for them.
This is their last battle. Even if he gets in there, we'll make it ungovernable for him. He's still illegitimate.
Ungovernable. By fire, by fire.
Okay, my brother. According to
more grace, my brother. Nigerian, more grace, sir. God will bless you.
Okay, my brother. Take care.
Yeah.